our lovely Sadhguru, as he shares, truth is not hidden, you are hiding from it. And as we talked about, that sense of self for a person who does not have it, they will be lying to their self. And tips so that you can identify this involve number one, the emotional plane and the mental plane. Okay, so I support people to be their self. Your authentic self is a solo self, a narrative self, relational self, and you have a core self. Now, I'm attachment trauma informed. I'm a 5D mystic. I'm a Reiki practitioner, an Akashic record reader. So mentor, content creator, you name it. And that's because of choosing to want to support people in their life to have inner and outer well-being. And because, social media became a thing. I'm an online entrepreneur and marketer, and I love having blog, podcast, content with courses, all of this. It just began to become digital content anywhere, and I love writing. So the plan is also to have some books and series coming out. We have one already made, the first part of the inner growth mindset, another one in the works, and that would be our first of IHP series. So unconditionally loving with our lovely flaws and imperfections. And here's what lies are. Lies don't hold people back, but they keep them in their fight response. Your 16-year-old is leading the way as long as you do not take self-awareness, accountability, and regulation skills and say, okay, I got a fight response. The charged state of the fight response is what leads. And then we have a 3-year-old with shame and a 1-year-old who has no owner. Okay, and this is how I break things down to you. So the sense of self, I'm not going to give you a technical verbiage. If you want that, then you can go to great therapists who are online giving you this type of breakdown. I'm here to chit chat, and then you can do mentorship and or again, the masterclass. It'll be a group one when we get together, and we'll make sure to note exercises for that self. Now, tips, emotions. If you get upset, that's your 16-year-old. Anytime you're in any type of upset mood, and you're charged yourself, take note of it. If you have questions, use your human name, number one. Take a look at your history from home, number two. You have an attachment system. Your social system came online as an adolescent. If you still have fear of inadequacy and your brain does inner critic or outer critic, that means you have a low self-esteem capacity, adaptive child. That means you're talking right now while I'm talking, okay? And if you're doing, I don't like her, I do like her, let's not let 14 months old rule. Your emotions don't rule you. They're not facts or thoughts you don't want to rule. No. Okay. So mindfulness, being aware. Do you know if you're reactive or are you able to respond? I'm reactive with my 3-year-old tone with my mother and my twin because that's as far back as it takes you. If you do the, I find it hard to believe that my implicit memory has anything to do with it, yeah, you're in the wrong place because this is where I'm going to tell you. Your 3 years of life matter the most out of anything. And if your first year you were not securely attached, well, I got news for you. There's a lady online who says, since humans are all fucked up, I'm just going to say avoid an attachment. And guess what? People on YouTube just want to make money. And guess what? People who smile, they're all depressed. And guess what? You know what? I don't want to journal or do meditation or mindfulness. The therapist, they told me I was doing a good job. Why would I pay you? Okay, so here's the deal. One, you can do personal development, self-help. It can support you to still get out of that. Two, I get it, money, therapist. And here's where three, the reality is anytime I ask a therapist, I said, look, I'm not an official therapist. I'm getting educational certificates with awakened embodied certificate, trauma educational certificates, dissociative identity disorder and disorganized attachment educational certificates, attachment of a lifespan. I got so many of these educational certificates and educational hours in an effort to add to what I was already doing, my toolkit, the Reiki Master, which supports with Reiki, distance healer for personal development, Akashic record readings. We also will have in the future, as I continue my certificate programs, the different ones, meditation and life coach. These are all different words that I use, but they're different additions to a toolkit that involve the same capacity that I've consistently had, which is I can help you to be you, okay? Okay, but I respect professions in a way. So when I have learned and continue to learn in my courses, I've asked every single therapist, what do I do? I'm a consultant, I'm a mentor, I'm a content creator, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not you. What do I do? How do I know? if I need you, and or how do I respect what your role is and what you serve in the purpose. Okay, just spelling it out. They all said the same thing. You'll know if you need us. What's most important is that you understand people work with people that they feel safe with. And that's because safe haven, secure base is what every sense of self that wants to find their self will want. I'm a guide to those who want to be their self. You can walk a mule to the well, you cannot make them drink. The free content is where you get to decide if you want to drink or not. If you do want to drink, you say, I want one-to-one mentorship, I want the master class. If you say, I'm not sure, I want to drink, you ask Maria, there's opinionated columnist episodes. Okay, so that's how it works. And the reality is, I don't do what I do to flatter anyone, meaning I, from my heart, have simply said, you can be you. And then I kept learning about it, and I still do. And the reality is, people hold themselves back because, like Sadhguru says, the truth is not hidden. You're hiding from it. But he doesn't know the psych education. I do. And so here's the deal. As Patrick Tiahan, childhood trauma survivor, healed and healing, points out, people will go get Reiki, they'll go do yoga, they'll go do all of that fancy stuff, and they will keep dating people that are strombolis, is the word I'm going to use. So Pinocchios with the wooden body fizzle out. They keep doing silverback stuff. Push, pull, the lust, yucky energy. For a person who knows what true love is, yeah, it's none of that. You don't come in and out of my life. You don't do blowing smoke in my ass. I know what it looks like. I met all the teenagers I could. This is exactly the energy of the grown-ups who don't get a good therapist. And then there are those who do get a therapist and they still don't grow up because their 1-year-old is not being taken ownership. They don't learn how to be their own safe haven. The minute something happens that you don't like, whether it's life, dealing with the unexpected, whether it's somebody discarding you, throwing you away like a piece of trash, and I'm not kidding, you get thrown away, here, go away. I don't even recognize anything. You're nothing. This has happened. Being no-thingness is very straightforward for a person who knows, I can see me. Oh, I can soothe me. Oh, don't worry. You can throw me. I can be in a dark-ass dungeon. I will not be, I learned how to make it on my own. No. This is the part. A divine feminine, again, that rabbi, he has it wrong. He doesn't know what an actual feminine will do when masculines want to go inseminate their semen everywhere. Yeah, sure, go, keep going. Oh, we don't feel cursed. We don't feel protected either. That whole thing of, you're protected from someone. I haven't seen evil once in my life. I told God that when I read all the psychology books. I said, there's human suffering, God. I have confirmation. Any person who ends up in that Michael Stone scale, they all need a good therapist. So somebody who discards you like a piece of shit, it means nothing to me at all because you completely don't do anything different than what I saw: unkind, disrespectful, stupid. Don't get me started about all the adolescents. See, I still, to this day, I don't want to be around them. I don't appreciate any of them. And the ones that I chose, they didn't even know how to tell me the truth in my face. Every time I asked them, they continued to say fear. And I'm like, what the hell? Confidence makes kids afraid? So I grew up knowing that people are afraid. And I'm 44. Guess what I found out? So this sense of self, to me, it wasn't hard to get, but I got lucky. I got secure attachment. Oh, and what's beautiful, my lovely viewers, is meeting men that have this. So I got to meet a man recently, I might add, and he knows what he's talking about. So we'll talk about that one in an extended version. In the meantime, again, if you're lying about emotions and you're basically, how can I put it? How shall I keep someone in my pocket? Oh no, they discarded me. I'm such a piece of shit. Oh, you know what? Let me find out about things like limerence or codependency or trauma bonding and ignore the fact that I might be in it completely. And when I say ignore, what I mean is, nah. So the therapists, again, they have shared it's important that people want to do work. 1, self-awareness, self-accountability, self-regulation. In the absence of it, you don't have anything. And that's 1. 2, they need to feel comfortable to share their story. That means their childhood trauma stuff, because anyone will have basically your childhood trauma charges. I had them. The difference is I didn't feel or fear inadequacy. As I told you, all those teenagers took me from my age of, it was 11 or 12 till 14, 15. That was it. I was like, okay, that's it. I don't fear when I hear that the social system of adolescence, because this is what I learned from attachment trauma from Daniel Siegel. So the adolescent brain is from 12 to 24. Okay. And he was saying how it's, they have this spark and this emotional spark. They're also social engagement. So they want to make, I'm trying to remember information. That's why my eyes are closed right now. And novelty. And then the certainty. So there's this way of, I think it was certainty or compassion. So the adolescent brain is open to learning, and it's open to, in fact, becoming integrated easily. Raise your hand when you choose love. Thank you, Jesus. I know all about flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable phases, and I created the acronym SMART. Phases is Daniel Siegel's for integration of the brain. Mine is SMART, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. That bring a man and woman and they over here that are smart. That's what the IHP community is about. We're not about jackasses. And in fact, we are going to make fun of jackasses, trying to be respectful. I will do my best to be respectful because I do know what it means to be respectful. And also, we're not here to affect states of consciousness. As Sadhguru states, the difference is I'm in the enlightenment soul age group, not spirituality. So it's not because I'm going to get struck by lightning or something. It's actively a jackass. Like I can be a jackass, is going to be a jackass. That's it. They're going to follow that donkey right over there. No, Maria, I'm not with Stromboli. Oh, look, don't you see? Look how amazing this is. Yes, I see. I see that you are what Gabor Mate and Stephen Porges points out. Your gut don't know that you're in visceral land. I do because it's a very tiny energy. I know that energy. I know what the whole lust and passion and all that stuff is. I'm a woman. I'm a person. I learned in years. You can only learn, and that's why when you do meet those who blow smoke in your mirrors once. I've been surprised in 2 different ways in my life, and I, in fact, knew exactly why that surprise. And this is the part of where a feminine rabbi, we don't mind. You go, have fun. The surprise is really fascinating because nothing, and I'm not going to say nothing, but there are things you completely don't expect. And so, yeah, it's like 1 and 2, and I was like, whoa. So that's okay. So you can get completely surprised, and that is with our oversoul. And then I'm going to say the nice surprises are the reminders, and that's in a different way of remembering to have fun and to play and to see. Okay, so when someone slaps, that means you're turning your head, right? When somebody takes and says, okay, let me show you. Here, wait. Let me turn you over here. Let me turn you over here. So I'm trying to give you the idea, okay? A sense of self will know when those things are happening. We're getting the opportunity to, again, be shook up, all shook up, and then awakened. So on that note, I'm going to let this one go so I can do another episode for you. But tips, the sense of self, use your human name, emotions. Be a person who can be loving, and you get there. It's not about pretending, obviously. That's why it's a process. The adolescent brain. It's beautiful when you're a grown human being with an integrated brain, because then you have the adolescent brain, your 3-year-old brain, your 1-year-old brain, basically all of your child parts, but they're not charged. That makes that emotional depth here open-hearted. So for me, I got to be accompanied, Jesus, God, I call it Akash, essence of love and life now, out of respect for the ones who will not be moving over here and the ones who essentially think of mystics as, it's unfortunate, but here spirituality and sciences come together. So tune in for more. Again, thank you for sharing, liking, subscribing. If you enjoyed, if you know that there are those who would find it fun and also educational. It's meant to be entertaining and educational. Again, for a program, a journey, you do it one-on-one with me. This is all so that you can get to know me, you can get to hear, and then we have social time because social media is for social time. Food for thought. And also that, trying to remind people that qualitative analyses are done by academics in specific ways. This is not the same. If I write a book, which I will, I have one book that I decided is not for academics. I started it with wanting to do it in that way because I have a master's degree, and I said, I'm not writing it for the academic world. I'm writing it to help people to be their self, to live a good life, to use their mind, use their brain. Okay, so mind, brain, relationships, your solo self, your narrative self, your relational self, and your core self. Here we get into a love button alone. If you still have shame, you work with that. No bullshitting and no using it either. There's no need for shame. The shame feeling is one that the people who still have it, you'll notice who they are. If you are a person of open heart who says, okay, I know what that served our ancestors. We don't need it at this point. Also, we don't need it because no 1-year-old was coming into life thinking that they would be made to feel so afraid and a piece of shit that they would fear healthy relationships and throw them in the fucking trash and go keep getting on Strombolis again and again and again. So a person who hears good attachment trauma information will know of Patrick Tihan, for example, childhood trauma survivor, healed and healing therapist who shares codependency is a really shitty way to go about living your life. They will find Terry Real, who will share with you how not to be a toxic man and a woman, how to speak the truth for you and stuff like that. They will learn of Bezel van der Kolk. They will implement immediately, not later. So there's the mantles, and then there's the ones who are saying, okay, so we get to be here with healthy self-worth, people who want to do emotions, people who want to be there for each other, people who don't discard each other, people who don't actually have fear of telling you in your face, you know what, I'm so sorry, my behavior, completely uncalled for, unnecessary. My tone is the only time I actually have to actively apologize, my mother and my twin, because it's a 3-year-old tone. But I got lucky. Again, I have secure attachment. Other than that, my lifetime that I can remember, I've apologized when somebody has, presented to me something. Do I feel I'm right or wrong? It's not about right or wrong. I'm going to respect members of my herd and I'm going to learn to dialogue. Why? Because I got taught that. Because I'm a decent human being. That's why. Because I know that for me, I want to be right, but that doesn't mean I am. And for them, they want to be right. This is that part of being a flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain. What I've noticed is most human beings, they are liars, pants on fire, and that's all I can say. They are in an adolescent attitude, but it's not an adolescent who's fun, because their 3-year-old is nowhere to be found, nor is their 1-year-old. They're an insecure human being who doesn't know how to live life, not in the way of a healthy self-worth person. And when you see those, again, donkeys and mules, and they're at the well, you're all together, you're drinking water, you're telling them how beautiful the water is, and they're like, yeah, I love the water, and they're going and drinking wine. And you're like, wait, that's not really, that's not the water that I'm talking about. No, look. Let me show it to you, Maria. Look at it. Yes, no, I can see it. I'm letting you know. So, again, we'll be back with more. In the meantime, thank you for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.